if you really want to go for top branches and top colleges, that is the marks range which you should get, which is 200 above. Those which are given high weightage in JEE mains exams from last 5 years. What all questions you have done wrong? What are the topics where you lack? Are you not aware of that concept? Were you not good in that concept? Or you just could not recall the formula, or just could not recall the particular concept? 90 days, just 3 months to turn your JEE mains 2026 dream into reality. Sounds tough, but it's not impossible. My name is Devansh. I'm a chemistry faculty at Physics Wala Vidyapeeth. And in this video, we are going to talk about all the strategies which are required to ace this exam in just 90 days. So let's go ahead. In this video, the very first thing which we are going to talk about is the analysis of 2025 JEE mains exam, that is marks versus percentile. According to that, you can think of that 2026 would be pretty similar, right? Now, when I talk about the marks range, between 281 to 300, you are getting a very good percentile. As you know, last year, close to 15 lakh students wrote the exam, right? Out of that, if you are getting 280 plus marks, you are in a range of 100 percentile. I'm talking about a rank below 400, 200 and 100. You are going to secure a top branch in top NITs and IITs, right? So if you really want to go for top branches and top colleges, that is the marks range which you should get, which is 200 above. If you are securing this much marks, you are getting top branches in good colleges, right? Top colleges considering NITs and IITs. But if you just want to secure a seat in NIT, right, the target should be 140 plus. If you are in this range, you can still in a percentile range of 98.7 plus, which is not that bad, right? Beyond that, you can easily secure a seat in NIT. So the target should be very, very clear. I know that many of us are working really hard, right? Like for almost 2 years, many of you are already working hard from last 3 years. Okay, so last 90 days are very, very important to ensure and strategize in such a way that we are securing a particular marks to secure a good college and good seat in a very good college, right? So this is the marks range, and I'm like, if the exam is almost same in terms of difficulty, the percentile versus marks range would be exactly would look like a similar to this one, right? So when I talk about what all should be the strategies, right? The very first thing is we should focus and give more priority to those chapters which are high weighted chapters. When we talk about physics, the first one is modern physics. Very easy chapter, similar concepts we study in chemistry also. Topics like photoelectric effect, atomic models, nuclear physics, X-rays and radioactivity. All these topics are very simple and these are easy marks in the exam. So do not forget to revise this one because you will get easy marks from this chapter. Then comes the electrostatics and current electricity. High weighted chapter. All the topics like charges, Gauss's law, circuits, resistors, Ohm's law, a lot of question comes from these topics, right? We cannot miss that. We have to ensure that we are revising it thoroughly. Then comes the optics, both ray and wave. Topics like lenses, topics like mirrors, interference, diffraction, polarization, all these topics are very, very important, right? Then comes thermodynamics and kinetic theory. Again, chapters which are given high weightage in JEE mains exams from last 5 years, right? Then comes magnetism and electromagnetic induction. Again, a high weighted chapter, topics like magnetic fields, Faraday's law, induction, inductance, all of them are really important in perspective of JEE mains, right? When I talk about mechanics, some selected topics you can choose. Of course, rotation, work power energy, laws of motion, center of mass, momentum, and if we talk about the mechanics, all these chapters are there, and we should give more emphasis on this. These all are the high weighted chapters of physics we should give more emphasis on in last 90 days. Okay, moving to the next one. Next is, of course, chemistry. When we talk about chemistry, chemistry is divided into three portions. One is physical, one is organic, one is inorganic. Usually, almost equal portion comes from all these branches, right? But when I talk about physical, these are the chapters which we should give more emphasis on, and more questions come from these all chapters. If you really want to ensure that your exam went really good, all these chapters cannot be skipped. Should give more priority to all these chapters. Chemical equilibrium, thermodynamics, then comes the chemical kinetics chapter, ionic equilibrium, electrochemistry. Okay. In inorganic, more focus should be on chemical bonding, periodic properties, very easy chapters, P and S block. S block is removed. We are talking about P block, coordination compounds, and these days, lot of question comes from D and F block also. So these two chapters, coordination and DNF elements, block elements, are very important chapters if I'm talking about high weighted chapters. Now, in case of organic chemistry, lot of question comes from GOC, which is general organic chemistry. Lot of question comes from GOC and the basic reaction mechanism. Okay, and all the mechanisms which include different topics as well. For example, for hydrocarbons, when we talk about alkyl aryl halides, and all the name reactions, very, very important. More focus should be given on all these topics of chemistry, high weighted chapters, high weightage topics. Okay, if you want to crack the exam, last 90 days, you cannot miss and skip these topics. So revise it thoroughly. Now, when I talk about maths, of course, coordinate geometry is one where a lot of question comes in from straight line, conic sections, circles. Then comes the calculus part, be it derivatives, application, area under the curve, very important, integrals. Okay, and when I talk about algebra, some of the chapters are really easy and very easy grab, like determinants. A small chapter, and you can get good marks from that because very easy question comes from that. Okay, few more chapters which are there where the easy question comes in and it can be revised very easily, which is statistics. Then one more which is called relations. All these chapters are small chapters, and these chapters, questions from these chapters will definitely come. Easy grab, easy marks. So all these chapters of mathematics, we cannot skip high weighted chapters. So if you are preparing in last 90 days, ensure that you are starting from these topics and then you are moving to those chapters which are not been given that priority in last 5 years. That is according to the last 5 years analysis. Okay. Now, once the weightage wise you have started, what should be your strategy when we talk about how many hours of study you are doing at home? Okay. So, in my opinion, the basic rule is that at least, when I'm talking about 14 hours, I'm talking about at least 14 hours daily you should invest in last 90 days. Okay, if you can go beyond, well and good, but at least 14 hours is definitely required. Now, how do you split the time daily? When I talk about the theory and concept learning, because of course you have to revise, it's not something that you have to do only questions, right? So you have to keep revising things and you have to ensure that you are learning the concepts as well. So every day when you divide it into physics, chemistry, maths, theory should be around 4 hours. Build strong understanding of new topics. Whatever topics you have skipped, you are not maybe sure of, go through it again and ensure that you build a very strong understanding of that, and at least 4 hours every day should be invested on that. Then comes the major portion, major part of your day, which is the practice part, right? Without practicing questions, it is very difficult to crack these exams, right? So when I talk about that, 6 hours of practice, I'm talking about question practicing. You can divide it in such a way: 2 hour physics, 2 hour chemistry, 2 hour mathematics, right? Or if you are comfortable with any of the subject, you can increase the number of hours of that particular subject where you find difficulty in, right? For example, if you are not good in mathematics where we need a lot of practice, you can consider it 2.5 hour maths for practice, then 2 hours practice for physics, then remaining 1 hour practice for chemistry. Okay, when it comes to JEE mains exam, the toughest exam you will find is of maths. Maybe you love mathematics, maybe you love physics, but the toughest would be maths, right? Chemistry, maybe you love it or hate it. Chemistry is going to be the easiest one. So chemistry is the subject where you can score 100 out of 100 very easily, because the topics which are there in chemistry, not difficult question comes in JEE mains exam. Advanced is a very different ball game. I'm not talking about that. But when I talk about JEE mains exam, chemistry is the easiest one. So ensure you are covering all the concepts of chemistry, right? Okay. So when I talk about problem solving, it includes the application problems and the PYQs, whatever content, whatever module, whatever books you are solving. Please ensure you are covering all the questions, including PYQs. I'll give more emphasis and focus in the later part of the video on PYQ, but it we have to do at least 6 hours of problem solving. Then comes the revision, right? A lot of chapters we have already done, we have gone through, right? But we have to go through back and revise the previous chapters through flashcards. If you are like keeping error logs with you, okay, retain formulas, concepts, correction mistakes, all these things you should at least write in your notebooks and keep going it on a daily basis, at least for 2 to 2.5 hours to 3 hours, right? Now when I talk about the tests, the most important part of your preparation, if you are not testing yourself, you'll not be able to perform good in the ultimate exam, the final exam. So let's ensure that whatever you are doing in a day, at least 1.5 to 2 hours you are investing in testing yourself. Make it a time bound, put a stop clock, and ensure for 1 hour or 1.5 hours, whatever questions you have planned, you are finishing under that particular time duration. Okay, very, very important. Track the progress. Okay, track the test exam temperament, because you might know a lot of things, but when the exam comes, you will be nervous, right? When you are nervous, you tend to do a lot of mistakes. So our ultimate goal is to ensure that we are, even if we are nervous, but because of our cool temperament, we are able to crack the exam, right? So next thing is how to split it subject wise. As I told previously also, physics, chemistry and mathematics, you can give almost 1.5 hours, 1.5 hours more theory. But when I talk about mathematics, in 1 hour you can revise and learn new concepts and give more emphasis on practice. As I told you, 2 hours for physics, 2.5 hours for mathematics, and 1.5 hour for chemistry. Revision wise, again, more revision should be given, emphasis should be given on physics and chemistry. When I talk about particularly chemistry, more things to mug up, right? So you have to learn a lot, you have to revise a lot. So keep revising these things, because when I talk about inorganic chemistry especially, you have to learn a lot of things, right? Without revision, you will tend to forget when the exam comes. So ensure you are revising, continuously revising the previous chapters. Okay. So total physics 5 hours, chemistry 4.5, maths 4.5. You can divide in such a way. Okay. Now the next is how many tests you should give to ensure that you are test ready, exam ready in January 2026. right? So when I talk about the tests, I have divided the chapters, the tests, in such a way: the daily mini test, the sectional tests which you can give, then full length mock tests, right? And the analysis. Okay. So when I talk about mini tests, just now in the previous slide we discussed about that every day you should invest in testing yourself 1 to 1.5 hours. That is that. Time duration is 1 to 1.5 hours. You can keep 15 to 20 questions from any chapter, maybe chapters clubbed, whatever way you want to. But test yourself and make it time bound. Okay. Check the concepts. Are you refreshed with the concept or not? Are you aware with the concepts? Are you able to recall the formulas? All these things you can check through that. Okay. Of course, speed and accuracy, right? So all these things are required, but one important thing which you should understand: all the daily minute tests we need to do till November end. Why I'm talking about till November end? Because October and November, right? These 2 months we should give more emphasis on completing all the chapters, revising all the chapters, where we are daily giving 6 hours of practice chapter wise, detailed wise, more theory, lot of revision, lot of practice. And till November end, when you are completely done with all the revision of all the chapters, then you can stop the daily mini test. Beyond that, what you can do, you can give full length mock tests in the month of December, right? Time as per JEE, 3 hours per day. Whatever test series you have joined, whatever test series you are giving, okay, you can ensure that those tests you are focusing on and you are giving per day, per 3 hour per day for that. Okay, every one mock test on every alternate day in the month of December. So you can consider in the month of December, and in the month of January you can give each exam one mock test per every alternate day, which makes around close to 20-25 tests, which will give you a very good picture where you stand right now, because this covers the complete syllabus. When I'm talking about full length mock test, all full syllabus of physics, chemistry, and mathematics. Highly important, I would say, testing method, because ultimately that is going to come in the final exam, JEE mains exam, right? Then after full length mock tests, the analysis is very, very important. Analysis in terms of what all questions you have done wrong, what are the topics where you lagged, are you not aware of that concept, were you not good in that concept, or you just could not recall the formula, or just could not recall the particular concept. All these things, okay, and do categorize those mistakes: conceptual, calculation, silly mistakes, okay, write it in your error log, okay, and keep revising those error logs, right? So in the month of December, that is going to be your job, which you just give a mock test, come back and maintain a error log, understand, analyze the paper, and ensure that you are not repeating that mistake again, right? Which is very, very important. So resolve without solution help, very important again. These days, with the help of AI, lot of things are there, right? We tend to check the solutions very quickly. In my opinion, that if you really want to learn, do not check the solution. Again, redo the whole complete test, and without the help of the solution, okay, you will get to understand and you will get more insights in that. Okay, that is how you should plan your testing, right? As I told, as it is mentioned also, that instead of quantity, more emphasis should be given on quality of that. After every testing, analysis is the most important part to ensure that you are learning out of it. If you are not learning, ultimately you will repeat the same mistake in JEE Mains 2026, which is not going to help you, right? Okay, let's move to the next part. Now, when I talk about PYQs. This is the real rank boosters. 70 to 80% of JEE mains questions are repeated in terms of concepts, right? So if you are solving these PYQs, okay, you are actually cracking the JEE mains exam. As I told, the JEE mains exam, as far as chemistry and physics is concerned, almost all the questions, similar concepts are coming. Maybe not numerical. Numerically, the values would be different. But when I talk about that, the similar questions comes in the exam. So we have to give a lot of emphasis on PYQs. Okay. There would be every chapter, like if I talk about last 5 years, close to 8,000 PYQs will be there. If you do those 8,000 PYQs, I'm telling you, you are exam ready, right? How to use PYQs smartly? Solve 5 to 10 PYQs daily topic wise after revision. When you were doing the revision, you can do that. Okay. And of course, maintain a error book, which is separately you can mention over there wherever you are maintaining the error that it is PYQ error log, right? And analyze the patterns from last 5 years. What kind of questions are coming in? Okay. For example, when I talk about thermodynamics, right? One equation is there which is delta H equal to delta U plus delta NGRT. On this particular equation alone, lot of questions has come in from last 10 years. Okay. So these topics, okay, when I talk about these topics, certain topics will always be there where you know that the question will definitely come, and you have to ensure that you are getting a right answer for that. So those observations are also very, very important, right? So all in all, when I talk about that, if you really want to crack the JEE mains 2026 exam, you have to do a lot of hard work. Of course, you cannot escape from that, but you have to do smart work as well. Without smart work, it is very difficult to crack and ensure a good rank in JEE mains exam in these last 90 days. So from my side, from PW Vidyapeeth side, all the best to all of you. Thank you so much.